think Sharon is more probably consistent for me right now. I think Pants misses a bit too much for my liking right now, or the risk is maybe higher than I would like. I do think the Pants on average will have a higher placement most of the time. I don't know. I think they're both pretty good. So I'm not really sure. I think we're going to take Sharon. Though there is a reasonable argument for Pants in this spot. I think it's probably more fun too, but we're going to take Sharon. We're going to take this happy little tree. And then I don't think I'm actually going to lock for the shrink spell here. Ideally, we don't really care that much about these, though they do make us quite a bit stronger. I don't love the shrink turn 2 as much, though maybe it's fine. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. Alright, that'll be fine. So we get an additional buff on the tree. We are going to sugar and spice this happy little tree as well. I think we'll do something like this. And then we'll just lead on the cut purse. Maybe we'll lead on the happy little tree. We'll lead on the cut purse. There's a chance that we can slay with this, and then we get extra gold. Extra gold would be pretty nice. And I don't mind the kitty cut purse in this spot, because it does have the ability to actually slay here, which I think is pretty valuable. And since this is going to get free stats on it automatically, it's in a pretty good spot. This having 4 attack already is quite huge. Nice. So that turn was incredibly huge for us. Not only does our cut burst get a little bit of extra stats, but we can actually buy this whole shop out with the shrink here. Or most of the shop anyway. We'll buy the pieces that I actually care about, which are these. I don't really care that much about this Minotaur, so I don't think I'm going to lock it. But this does give us a higher chance of this kitty cut purse actually getting the slay here. And then it makes this happy little tree have much more stats with the Mad Mim. Typically, I'm not that excited about Mad Mim most of the time, because we don't really need it as much. We get free stats. I do think that it's nice early on with the happy little tree to kind of carry us. So given that, I'm content with it in this spot, especially since it's basically free. And then we'll unfortunately get extra stats on our thing that doesn't necessarily need it. We end up losing combat here because they have an upgraded or additional statted Minotaur. I think that's fine. The fact that we didn't trade with that dragon is pretty much the worst case scenario. I do think I want this creeper. I definitely want this creeper. I'm trying to decide if I want to use this gingerbread party or not. And I'm trying to decide if I want this Wicked Witch. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to take the creeper and then roll. Ideally, what I'm looking for is a princess. I'm going to roll one more time. I guess we'll just take another creeper here. We could take the ogre princess. Maybe that's better than the creeper, because it lets us flip our frog in this spot. Yeah, I think we can maybe rearrange it something like this. And I think that's fine. So it looks like we are not going to win this combat either, though we did get a lot of scaling on our units. I think I'm down to pick up this Darkwood Creeper here for sure. Ideally, I'm getting rid of these soon. Maybe we want this baby root in that world. Could even potentially switch out for the Brave Princess. Maybe I don't actually care that much about that. Let's just roll. There is an argument for the Good Witch. I think we're just going to take Cinderella and use the double spell here. EXP is insane. Okay, so we're going to do that. I don't really need more health on this, and I think both of these are pretty similar. Okay, good. Alright, so we get a sleigh. That's pretty big. Alright, we should be able to get some decent scaling on this tree here, based on the fact that our opponent has this cat's call here. It is a bit of a disaster since our opponent actually has the Minotaurs here. We are going to get stats on these now, which kind of sucks. Alright, so we've taken a lot of damage. We are 24, but we have extra EXP. We're getting into a spot where we are almost going to be big enough to sort of stabilize. This happy little tree on its own is almost good enough on its own. Sorry, this is almost enough health to not need to worry about anything else. We really need about one more thing. This tripling is pretty good, and then this Spellweaver is also decent here. Let's start with this and see where that leads us. Alright, Ring of Meteors is actually just insane here. I think we can maybe get rid of this now. We can buy this, sell this, buy the other Spellweaver, and just roll. So we are starting to scale up our Spellweavers here. I actually think that we can cut the Kitty Cut Purse even. I don't love this being in the front, but I think it's fine. Because ideally we want this in the back, but now we have the Ring of Meteors plus the double ranged plus the happy little tree in the front here. Ideally what we're going to do is triple these up, and then we're going to have a pretty solid game, I think. So we get a sleigh here, so our Ogre Princess gets a little bit more stats. It's not like I care that much about the Ogre Princess getting stats at this point, but it is still nice that it has them. Let's shoot this Shadow Assassin. Perfect. Alright, so we're basically in a spot where if we can fill out more health on our board, we should be able to be quite stable. The Wonder Waddle with full HP is sort of problematic. Let's use the free roll, trigger our Cinderella here, and then we'll see where we can go from there. So we could take the Ring of Regeneration. There is an interesting world where we need to gain a little bit more health here. I think instead we're just going to take the Hermes Boots, but that is a spot where it's of considering. We're going to grab the Nutcracker. I think that's a great pickup here. And then we're going to take this Heartwood Elder. Wow, this was a very, very nice turn. So let's rearrange these in such a way that I think we're just done with the Ogre Princess here. Oh, we're done with this too. Okay, so this is going to go here. Let's sell Cinderella. We'll buy this. We're going to put this here, and then I guess we're going to run something like this. Maybe we just run one of these in the front so that we can do something like this maybe. I do like the Ogre Princess. It has a lot of stats on it. It might be better than the Spellweaver. But ideally, a 7 attack as a first attack for a ranged is pretty nice. And it might end up being better than the Frog Prince even, because we're going to start getting additional scaling on it, which is important. The happy little tree hopefully is able to sort of carry for a few rounds. Our end game is probably going to have one Spellweaver in with as many stats as we can get on it. This happy little tree and a bunch of fairies. Okay, that's fine. This is not as good. That was pretty disastrous as far as our hits. So this is good. We'll have to see where this hits. Okay, hit over here. Alright, so we win this just barely. They are in a really good spot with the Crystal Ball plus a lot of spell-based things. I don't really care about the the Triply here. We don't actually have a very good way of getting health on the Triply. We could potentially lean into spells, but I really just don't think that we have to. We can just be trees. We have essentially everything we would need for it. I think it's probably worth using Fireball here. So we're going to do that. And then let's roll. We're basically looking for the tree things that we don't have yet. Or just tripling what we already do have. Alright, so we definitely do want this Heartwood Elder. I'm trying to decide if we actually want to run it this turn. Just to try and scale up this tree a little bit more. Probably. Let's sell the Cut Purse and this Princess White. So we want this for sure, and I definitely think that we want to run it. I actually think that we should be strong enough that we can only get one attack scaling this round. And then I think we can maybe rearrange them like this. Our ultimate goal here is to get as much health on this happy little tree as we actually possibly can. Even to the point where if we see spells that'll allow us to get additional health on it, that I'm interested in casting them. That was a bit of a disaster, I think. It should be okay, given what our opponent has for the rest of their board. I believe that they are going to get to resummon a Juliet here. Yes, they are. But that's going to run in here. It's going to trade at the happy little tree. Perfect. So we're getting good scaling, both attack and health. This is huge for us here, actually. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. We don't really need the Ring of Rage. We could possibly take the Forking Rod here. Lets us scale up our Spell Weavers a bit faster. So we can maybe do something like this. I'm going to roll rather than taking Earthquake here. If we can get a Lightning Bolt, double Lightning Bolt is something that I would probably be interested in. Double Stone Skin is probably fine. We'll go ahead and cast that here. Okay, so we have a 33-38, which is pretty nice. Noted there is a Grimsoul plus Chupacabra combo here. But I don't actually think that that's something that I care about. I do think it's probably correct now to buy one of these and roll. It's a lot of Baba Yagas. I wonder... I don't actually think that we need the end, though I am considering it just for the health. Like possibly buying one of these things and then using it to get extra HP. I don't actually think that we need it that badly. So our opponent does have an interesting build with Godmother. They're going to have a lot of health on their things. But not necessarily a lot of attack. They do end up having a lot of attack inherently just based on being Mahiri in this spot. I don't know if our happy little tree is going to be enough to carry us. It should do pretty well, but I don't think we're going to win this combat, unfortunately. Yeah. So this hits here. Yeah, we're a little bit short. So we take a bit of damage. But ultimately, I think we're going to be in a better position than they are long term. So there is an Aeon here as well, which is nice with the Forking Rod, though I don't think that we actually care too much about it. We really need to triple these up just so that we have a large attack thing. We're probably looking to replace this in the future anyway. So this is Mad Catter. We don't really know what Mad Catter is playing in this spot. I do want this 6 of Shields. I think we're just replacing the... maybe I don't. I'm just going to skip it. I don't actually really care about it. I think I'm just going to double buff this happy little tree again, and then we're going to look for some Shoulder Fairies here. Shoulder Fairies and tripling this stuff is going to be really important. I don't even think I care about an additional Heartwood Elder more than I care about trying to find Shoulder Fairies. This is a good pickup, though. I think I just skip in this spot and then I roll. So we have a little bit of extra gold here. We have, what, one more gold to try and roll for fairies. A bit unfortunate there. Alright, so here's the shoulder fairies. We'll lock it for next turn. We'll basically just end up playing either down or we can run this Frog Prince for a turn. I think I'm going to opt to play the Frog Prince for a turn. I even think it's probably right to just, like, maybe do something like this. Probably like this, actually. We don't really care that much about this Nutcracker anymore. Obviously, it's nice that it exists, but it really isn't that valuable. Okay, that was a good hit for us. That was also good. Basically, we just need to kill this Siren. That's not ideal. Attack here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're getting quite large. This happy little tree is pretty awesome. Our shoulder fairies is going to be enormous. So let's pick this up. This is a 3460 in this spot. Let's go ahead and roll. We can double buff this. I think we'll wait until we can find something that buffs exclusively trees. Or we just find something like a double lightning bolt. Yeah, I think we'll cast double lightning bolts. We're going to go ahead and put this in. I do think I'm still scaling this for now. I actually wonder if this double Falling Stars is worth a lock, even though we're going into 6. I don't think it is, but it is actually interesting, worth thinking about. Because assuming that we still run the double creepers, it's scaling us an additional +4 attack to our whole board permanently. Let's think about that for a second. So I don't think that I lock for it. There's plenty of combat spells that I think are going to be more useful. A bit awkward here. Our opponent ends up being extremely strong. We end up winning quite easily here, which is good for us. But it definitely could have gone a lot differently. The broccoli with the extra scaling is really pretty spooky. I could potentially change hero powers. I don't think I care that much about it, though. I would rather look for more shoulder fairies and more, like some echo woods, and then potentially finding additional health for our happy little tree. Mix-a-Wizzle is interesting. I don't think I'm going to cast it here, though. So we're against Loki. When did we see Loki last? A million years ago? They're almost certainly on Slay. Okay, so this is pretty good. So we'll pick this up. I believe that we just skipped this. We're going to buy the shoulder fairies. And then we're definitely going to cast this double healing potion here. So this is 46 attack. I suppose that we do this for now, though it is interesting to put the creeper up front. I think we do this, and one of our priorities is we're going to see if we can get more health on this happy little tree. The ways that we can do that are basically just spells. Okay, so they are quite large ranged, unfortunately. They're a little bit bigger than we are. Basically a lot bigger. It kind of seems like our lobby has fed the shit out of them, which is unfortunate for us. I don't know if we're going to be able to be bigger than they are. So we're probably just playing for second. That's not ideal. So here's Gwen. Gwen looks like they are probably also trees. So we're going to need to find upgraded shoulder fairies. We're probably going to need to find maybe Ashwood. We really need Echo, basically, is the spot that we're at here. So I did pass something that I kind of regret here. In that I passed a Shrivel, but we'll take the Poison Apple. That should do fine for this combat. Do I want anything that this chicken can offer me? I kind of want this Flourish. So I guess in the market where I want the Flourish, I probably want the Golden Chicken as well. So the Flourish is interesting in that it's going to give this an additional 6 health. It gives this extra attack. We're going to probably need to find a double Poison Apple for this, this Loki player. And if, barring double Poison Apple, we could also potentially find... we could find, like, double Fog might be good enough. So that's really good for us. So it looks like we should be able to eliminate Gadfly here. Okay. I believe that we're going to be fighting Mahiri here. Yes. So let's take this Golden Chicken. We're going to skip. We're not taking this. We're going to use this. And then we're going to roll. And we're going to be looking for an Echo or a Shoulder Fairies, basically. Nothing else is really that important. Barring actually finding them, I think we're going to be in a pretty bad spot. So here's an Echo Wood, so that's awesome. So let's sell this. Are we done with this Nutcracker here then? So realistically, the Nutcracker is pretty small. It's effectively the same thing as this Creeper. So I'm fine cutting the Nutcracker for the Echo Wood. I'd rather keep the Creeper in for the scaling. We're going to do this. And then it's possible we're supposed to do this, but I'm still going to leave it here. But there is an argument for putting it in the back. I think the ranged is pretty cheaty. And I would agree with that. We don't necessarily need this Spell Reaver in our comp anymore. If we can find more Shoulder Fairies and Echo Woods, I'd probably cut them. But we're going to leave it in for now because it has so many stats. I think that we have enough stats here. I don't know how large this Loki is going to have gotten. We're really going to need a combat spell or additional Echo Woods, probably. Because right now, we're currently not big enough. So this Echo Wood is definitely going to... Or this Loki is definitely going to be able to kill us unless we get a good scam. Fog would do it, probably, I would consider. I would also consider the... upgraded Shoulder Fairies is pretty good. Ambrosia. Do we not need this Ring of Meteors anymore then? We don't really need the scaling. We don't actually have enough money for the forking round anymore. So I guess it's just Ambrosia over... Fork here, because this is +2 attack. No, it's just Ring of Meteors. And then we're gonna rearrange it something like this, and then let's roll. I guess it's something like this. And then we'll hope that this is enough. Not finding a spell is not ideal for us here. We'll have to see what the Choop ends up attacking. But I don't know if this Echo Wood is going to be enough to deal with the back row. It's possible. Okay, that's not ideal. This gets to kill this. Take this one. Okay. That was not it. Okay, so we have one more combat. Alright, that's good. So now we have the chance of actually finding a combat spell. Wow, this is huge. Okay, so we have double fog and an additional Echo Wood. So that's pretty large. Let's roll. Okay, so that means I think I cut the Darkwood Creeper here. Like this. And then we maybe lead on these two. Let me bring up their board again. So, is this going to have 200 attack? I don't think so. It could maybe be this even. That way we get to attack with this first. Oh no, we got appled. That's really unfortunate. Why did that get 5 attack? Oh, they have eye berries? Oh my god, that's a fucking disaster. Shoot this thing. Holy shit, what a fucking disaster. Wow, dude. Did they have eye berries before and I'm just stupid? They did. That's obnoxious. Alright, well, we'll take second, I guess. That was a really bad play, though. Really bad. I probably needed a Medusa there. Was there a spot where I could have... Wow. I'm kind of mad about that, actually. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm going to look at the game history. I think there were some lines that I could have taken that would have been better. That was really a bad play. I'm kind of upset about that, but we'll take our second. Based